Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Today, I'm going to do a full review of this cool, amazing new ROM called DescendantX ROM for the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Now, what makes this ROM stand out from any other ROM is that it really has a lot of customization, and the UI really does have something to stand out from a lot of AOSP custom ROMs. And this is one of the attempts. Anyways, let's begin. Alright, so before we jump into the big part of the story, let's talk about some of the miscellaneous stuff first. So, of course, this ROM is based on Android 10 and it is running on the latest security patch update. And in terms of the Pixel features and the Android 10 features, it has all of them, right? Android 10 features are definitely full and there's nothing missing here. In terms of Pixel features, we do have certain features making its way. For example, we do have live caption, which is definitely a cool, and really interesting features to the text, speech, and media, and generate closed captions from it. Right? It is definitely useful if you want to watch a video, but you do not want to turn on the sound, for example. We also have a lot of Google apps pre-installed when you install this ROM, right? And of course, one of them is the Google Dialer, right? It is definitely a nice addition. There is also Face Unlock, which is a new to a lot of custom ROMs. You can see that we have Face Unlock. You can see that, right? It's first made way to Pixel Experience, and it has now been ported to many other AOSP ROMs, including this one. Alright, and lastly, we do have the live wallpapers, which are sadly broken now. Now, of course, we do. Now, in terms of the launcher, I'm very glad to tell you that this one here is Launcher, which is one of the best custom launchers available on the Play Store right now. And thanks to the fact that it is a system app, you can now enjoy all of the greatness of a integrated launcher, right? Like the redesigned Quick App Switcher or the Google Now page on the left. It's really nice things. Now, those are the features that you might expect. Now, what about the user interface? Now, to take you into the story, let me talk about how custom ROMs are doing right now. You know that there are just a whole, like hundreds of custom ROMs out there, right? With different purposes and stuff like that. They all have one big aim: to give the users, ourselves, the best experience, best performance, and the best optimal battery life. With a lot of custom ROMs, all they did was using the same code AOSP. They put on a bunch of customizations, which depends on many ROMs. For example, certainly like let's say Havoc OS with many customizations, or AOSP forking for amazing smoothness, for example. Alright, but then there exists a problem. They all look the same, right? A lot of custom ROMs, aside from the wallpapers, the icon packs, and maybe a bit of the color shade, they look exactly the same. They have nothing, they are really nothing that makes them stand out from the crowd. And that is the problem, especially to end users, because when they choose a custom ROM, they have to look at something that stands out, right? Otherwise, it'll be a tough decision for them, right? And it will depend on, like, to say, a lottery or something. This ROM, particularly, has something to prove. Now, the first thing that they redesign is the notification center. So you can see that it is a little bit different from what you've seen, right? For the first thing you notice is that the brightness slider has been redesigned. They now run in, like I said, in this box here that is interactable and sort of changes shape every time you interact with it. Really cool. With the quick settings, they have really compacted it by a great extent. For example, you only have like 8 icons in one page, making things a lot more compact than they are supposed to be. Then there are a lot of hidden things. For example, the volume HUD that I just given you right here, it is not in this prominent window like any other ROMs. It is very compact in this tiny little bar down there that when you tap on it, it will expand, and tap on this arrow one more time, it will show you this full control of the media, right? Which not many ROMs actually do, and that's really good, nicely appreciated. Now, there are some attempts by the Descendants team to make this ROM stand out. For example, there is one feature that I found really exciting when I first saw it, and that's Thumb UI. This basically is a leaf out of Samsung's book. It pretty much makes the whole UI shifted down all the way to the bottom half to accompany better one-handed usage. You know, in this whole day and age with huge phones, this feature is a really appealing thing to us. The problem here is that it is an AOSP ROM. It is not an OEM. It's not like a manufacturer. It's not Google. So in order to make things actually work, it has to make every app adopt to it, and unfortunately that's not the case. A lot of apps still don't really adapt well. Like Tumblr actually works well, but you can see it is pretty glitched out. And then things like Telegram just has this heading, but then it just disappears, and it all is still the same as before. And then of course there's things like Gmails. It is the same story, right? It is not changed at all. Yeah, so yeah, the idea is really appealing, but the execution is not quite there yet. And I don't think that that is going to change anytime soon, right? Unless it consults with any developers to actually make this work. Another thing, right? Of course, one of the effects of the Thumb UI is that it also makes the quick settings a lot different. Instead of the whole stock Android style, which is notification center and then swipe down one more time for quick settings, we now have 2 different pages if you turn on Thumb UI, one for notification, one for quick settings. And I really do appreciate their efforts here. I mean, the whole the side here, the whole quick settings is right at the bottom, so that it's just way easier to turn on toggles like flashlight and airplane mode and mobile data and so on. And of course on the top there are 4 important reminders like events, missed calls, alarms, and the ringer status. And of course when you click on notification, it shows all your notifications right here, right? And I think that is a very interesting feature that they have put in. And yeah, that is all of the features that they have that makes the UI stand out. That is simple, right? And I really do appreciate the efforts here. But of course with Thumb UI, I really do wish that more apps could take advantage of it, and more apps could actually adopt well to this new things. Tumblr actually works, but then other apps don't work. For example, like YouTube, it's still the same. Yeah, still the same. One more thing I want to talk about is the Descendants system. Now we do have, if you go into battery, they do have an option where it will use the AI to ensure efficiency by, let's say, warning you of battery usage, or let's say if you use your phone too much, it will also notify you of that. Yeah, so that's all the stuff that you could expect from this ROM as a new features. As with performance and battery life, it has been keeping up with a lot of custom ROMs. Let me just show you the scores here real quick. It is pretty consistent with a lot of ROMs that I've tested, right? This one was actually working here, right? So as you can see that it is pretty consistent with a lot of ROMs. The single core score is higher than most ROMs, but the multi-core score is a little bit below. So I would kind of say it's in average there. And of course, with battery life, it has also retained that 7 hours on screen time as promised, and pretty up there with a lot of custom ROMs. So there's really nothing to be excited or be disappointed about. So that is the whole DescendantX review. In my opinion, this one is also a must-go if you're looking for a ROM that has some differentiation in itself from any other ROMs. There's really nothing that is bad about this ROM, other than the fact that, let's say there are still some bugs, of course, like the clear all button doesn't work, or the device still runs kind of warm even during normal usage. And of course, we have the laggy app switcher, idle battery drain. Netflix is still not working even though the safety net is passed, so that's a little bit disappointing. Other than that, this ROM is a nice buy. It's a nice go if you're looking for a really different ROM and something to actually stand out from the crowd. Of course, it is still not as good as something like Pixel Experience and Evo X. It still does not match those ROMs in terms of smoothness and pixel feelings. But of course, as a standalone ROM, it is a good ROM. Amazing ROM in other sense, and yeah, you'll be pretty happy with this ROM. So that's all I have to say about this ROM. Thanks for watching. If you really like this video, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe and hit the bell button down below to get notified for every time a new video drops. Anyways, thank you and goodbye.